Top of the morning to you, and the rest of the day as well. I'm James Francis Smith, an historian and an author. In a prior video, I expressed my opinion that boots on the ground when invading a foreign country is generally a losing proposition. It hadn't worked for Alexander the Great, nor Napoleon, neither Russia nor England in Afghanistan, or the United States in Vietnam. The exceptions are England on the tiny island of Malta in 1947, and of course the Allies in World War II. Check out my 500-page novel Rory O'Donnell and the Kennedys. Each chapter covers a year from 1946 until at the end of World War II, until Bobby Kennedy's assassination in 1968. This year-by-year narrative history was originally intended to point out the vast technological and societal changes that took place following World War II. As the tale came together, it became apparent that every major issue facing the world today originated during these 2 decades. Smith uses a combination of characters and events, some historical, some fictional, to expose the painful lessons that still haunt our country. The O'Donnell family, captures the societal changes, including infidelity, street gangs, clerical pedophilia, and teenage drug craze. The interface between Rory O'Donnell and Bobby Kennedy takes the reader behind the political scenes. A fictional committee illustrates the growing gun culture, which resulted in the murder of a president, a senator, a civil rights leader, and countless others. Newspaper correspondents and a fictional English lord help the reader cope with the drive for national liberty in China, Vietnam, Israel, the Middle East, and India. The struggle of democracy versus communism, concluding in the Cold War, Berlin airlift, and hot wars in Korea and Vietnam. The source of this material comes from those who participated. Rory O'Donnell finds himself involved in the civil rights movement through the encouragement of a biracial cousin. Today's labyrinth of turmoil reminds one of the words from an Irish song. An eye for an eye is all that's on their mind, and another eye for another eye, until everyone is blind. This is a tale not to be missed. Early in the novel, Rory O'Donnell, now a newspaper reporter, Aaron, in a letter to Rory, now a newspaper reporter, Aaron describes Israel's Chief of Staff, Moshe Dayan's 5-week tour of Vietnam. Before visiting Vietnam, Dayan traveled to both England and France to obtain their opinions. He departed with the conviction that America was fighting the wrong kind of war, and at best can only earn a stalemate. The following is how I described it in Rory O'Donnell and the Kennedys, available in softcover from Amazon, plus ebook form from Kindle and Nook. The prices won't break your bank account. Dear Rory, Tel Aviv, September 1966. Just met with Moshe Dayan over lunch and had a great discussion about America's strategy in Vietnam. Dayan just returned from going on Operation Paul Revere. It's been a decade or more since he actually seen combat. He was most interested in the use of helicopters and their opportunities for Israel. Allowing Dayan to observe the firepower, weapons, and fuel available to the Yanks made him drool with envy. The 250 Koreans held their own against an attacking force of 1,000. More shells were flung at the attackers than Israel used in 2 wars. About 250 VC were killed, averaging 100 shells for every kill. Dayan doesn't think that operations like Paul Revere worked the way they were intended. America's infantry are often unnecessarily exposed. The VC have dense jungle vegetation to hide in, making it impossible to know where they are. Therefore, Americans use search and destroy missions, which enables the VC to decide whether to engage or withdraw. After Dayan landed with the 1st Cavalry in an area cleared by artillery and bombs, they were ordered to occupy a nearby hill. One after another proceeded along a narrow footpath to cross a stream. The VC allowed the 1st unit to pass unmolested, then gunned down the 2nd. 25 killed, 50 wounded. Dayan examined a VC knapsack. He found a spare uniform, a pound and a half of rice, a packet of salt, a cooking pot, a spoon, a flint, a wick, and ink powder. It's no wonder they can travel 3 months without being detected. Their weapons, World War II Mausers, semi-automatic rifles, light machine guns, and medium mortars, are light enough to be carried. In the Battle of Dien Bien Phu, Viet Minh General Giap brought 50,000 men down from the north. With an unlimited supply of dedicated fighters, they're never going to negotiate unless it's on their terms. Our President Johnson, and yes, he's still my president, is daydreaming. I hate to bring this kind of info now that BJ is headed for Nam, but I thought you should know. Your friend, Aaron.